Hey guys, so some of you already know what we're going to talk about today. Today's video, one of the videos I'm recording today, is going to be all about the insensitive versus the sensitive Aquarius. So I'm going to tell you what happened and then we're going to do the introduction, okay? So I was talking to a Cancer and she's in a relationship with an Aquarius, and she told me that she feels like Aquarius are insensitive to the feelings of other people. So I came to you guys in the community section and I asked you, what did you think about what she said? Now, 294 of you voted. Thank you for voting. And out of the 294, 23% of you feel that Aquarius are insensitive to others. However, the other 77% of you feel as though Aquarius are very sensitive to others. And still more of you, as a matter of fact, 38 of you left comments in the comment section. And many of those comments expressed to me that they felt as though it depended on the situation. That they feel like as Aquarius, they're more sensitive at other times than some other ones. It depends on what's going on. They told me who the person is. Are they fed up? Where is the relationship? There's a whole bunch of different things that they told me go along with it. So let me introduce myself. I am Queen Osset Hero, and thank you for joining us for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to somebody else who might like it too. Don't forget to drop us a positive comment in the comment section and stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read two of my favorite positive comments from other previous videos and respond to them. Okay? If you would like to get a reading done, please email me. My email information and everything else you need to know is underneath this video. My Patreon is underneath this video. My Amazon wish list is underneath this video. My Ask an Aquarius merchandise is underneath this video. Everything you possibly might want to know about is underneath this video. So let's get back to the insensitive Aquarius. So basically, people feel like that this Cancer isn't right. Only 23%. And there was one Aquarius today who told me that somebody started to cry and they didn't exactly know what to do. I've heard Aquarius say this very often. I've even experienced this before. I've had this happen to me before, a long, long time ago, before I started to understand the concept of compassion. So Aquarius, I believe, are not insensitive. But I do think Aquarius are very often accused of being insensitive because, like they said, remember they said it depends on the situation. If it's a situation where, let's say, for example, the person has irked you, you've been sensitive to their situation, you tried to make accommodations for them, and at this point you feel like they're taking advantage of you. This is a time when I've seen Aquarius get very insensitive. When an Aquarius feels like you're playing with them or you're, abusing them or taking advantage of them in some kind of way, they will get very insensitive. They will basically detach from you, shut off from you. An Aquarius will cut you off like a bad habit. They'll just stop messing with you. It's just a wrap. So that does happen sometimes. But I wouldn't say we're insensitive, based on these statistics especially, but I've also seen other people have this conversation, and I've talked about it myself before. And in general, Aquarius is a very sensitive sign. And another thing that the other Aquarius mentioned is that we don't always show it. And I think this is where this particular myth, because this is a very common myth about Aquarius. Oh, those Aquarius are so heartless. Oh, they're so insensitive. We don't always show it, okay? Some Aquarius think that it's a sign of weakness. Some Aquarius think it's none of your business, that their emotions are their own, their feelings are their own, and they can share them with you if they so choose, which is a very valid statement. So we often don't show our sensitivity. So a lot of people do think that, especially men. And our society already doesn't make it okay for men to show that side of themselves in the first place. And then when they're Aquarius, there's a hyper masculine, because you got all this masculine energy coming from our planets. Both our ruling planets are masculine. So you have all this masculine energy. And so a lot of times, especially our men, but it happens to the women too, don't feel comfortable showing their sensitivity. And if you go to the community section, you will see people commenting on how they don't always feel comfortable showing it as an Aquarius. So what happens is, if you don't show sensitivity, over time people begin to think you don't have any as a zodiac sign. So they're looking at us like, oh, these something is wrong with them. But the truth is that you don't know how many times an Aquarius will go home and cry about something that happened, or how many times an Aquarius stop messing with you because you hurt them. Sometimes people are like, oh, my Aquarius just disappeared because your Aquarius was deeply hurt. And instead of expressing that to you, they shut off. Which I told you guys before, shutting off and ghosting are two of our default settings when we're hurt. If your Aquarius shuts off, they're probably hurt or angry. Those are the two times when we have the tendency to shut off. So to get back to the point, no, no, the Aquarius is not insensitive, but you might not always know that. And this Cancer woman is in a relationship with an Aquarius man. So I don't know what's going on in the relationship, but I can definitely tell you, if he's unhappy in the relationship, if you two are fighting or incompatible, or there's some kind of upset of any kind going on, he's not going to be sensitive. He's really going to check out in a lot of cases. And in most cases, that checking out is usually spiritual and mental and emotional first, and then it's physical. So we check out first up here, and then our, everything else, our emotions leaves, and then our behind will follow. Okay? So if your Aquarius is being insensitive, something is wrong, and you guys need to talk. And I'm sure you're going to tell me at some point in time you've tried to talk to the Aquarius. You've probably already tried to have communication with him, and he probably didn't say anything, and that's where you're getting the idea that he's cold, unfeeling, and insensitive. But the truth is that he probably doesn't know how to communicate, or doesn't want to communicate his feelings, either one or the other. So as his significant other, yeah, I would try to get it out of him, and I would try to, get him to communicate and talk about his feelings. But if he can't do that, you have to really consider, what are you doing in a relationship with somebody who literally can't communicate with you? You have to really question these kind of things, because how does this look for the long term? She said that him and her are a new relationship. So if he's already doing this now, where are you going to be in a couple years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, if he can't communicate today? So I would talk to him about the importance of communication and see if he was willing to do something about it. And if he wasn't willing to do something about it, this is a relationship that I would have to strongly consider if I wanted to continue being a part of, especially since it's brand new. So if you're getting insensitivity from your Aquarius, it's because something is going wrong. We generally do have that energy. Also, they mentioned too that sometimes they're not showing you yet. Remember, Aquarius does take a little bit of time to warm up to a person and to a situation. And the more we warm up, the more we do reveal, the more we do talk, the more sensitive we do become. So the question is, has it been enough time? And have you guys had enough interaction and done enough things together that he feels open to that vibration? So you're the only person that can answer these questions. But in general, no, the Aquarius is not insensitive. And yes, that is something you will hear about us a lot, but it's not true. Okay? All right, guys. Now let's take a look at the positive comments that I have here. And then I am going to respond to these positive comments. So So what do we have here? All right, so the first one is from Luz Lopez. Luz is my girl. What's up, Luz? Luz said, oh my God, yes. I remember hearing something about that. Those days, men would always blame women if they couldn't get pregnant, or if they did get pregnant. He was a player too. That was very low indeed. Yeah, I was talking about a famous Aquarius that kept on, I think it was Charles Dickens, and he kept getting his wife pregnant. They had like 10 kids, and he kept blaming it on her. And it was like, dude, you do realize you're both making these babies, right? He was so unhappy with these children, but they kept busting out, you know? And she is talking about how back in those days, women would get the blame. You got the blame if you got pregnant, and you got the blame if you couldn't get pregnant. Either way, it was your fault. Some men wanted an heir, and if you couldn't produce one, then you either got kicked to the curb, or you were severely emotionally abused because you were in some kind of, you were lacking in some kind of way. So that's 100% true. Some people still feel that way, unfortunately. Hey, Lucretia Coates. Hey, Cree Cree. Cree is my BFF from Philadelphia. She said, oh, the Aquarius, he doesn't know her well enough to trust that she makes good decisions, and or that you have his best interest at heart. She's talking about an Aquarius that I talked about a couple videos ago, and the Libra, his girlfriend, was complaining about him not taking her advice, not listening to her, you know, him basically being hard-headed, you know. And this is exactly what's going on. He doesn't trust her yet. They just met, and it takes Aquarius a little bit of time. Like I was saying in this video, it takes us a little bit of time to thaw. It definitely does. All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys soon. I got a lot more to say, so come back. Bye.